Now, we typically focus on strictly fantasy football here, but I'm going to bend the rules a little bit because I can. We're going to go in and predict your Super Bowl 58 champion who will be crowned on February 11th. I want to know who you have winning it all this year. Also, comment if your team is in the playoffs as well. Let's get into it. Kicking off wildcard weekend, we have the Browns against the Texans. I personally love the two storylines here. You get a rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud, who everybody was doubting after a couple of preseason games, going up against Joe Flacco and a Browns team that has really looked about as good as we've seen them in my lifetime, and I'm 22. The Browns defense has been allowing the least amount of passing yards per game all year long. And then you have CJ Stroud with the Texans, who had a shot at leading the league in passing yards if he did play all 17 games for his team this season. On the Browns end, looks like Amari Cooper and Myles Garrett are questionable. I would guess those guys do everything in their power to play with the season on the line. Noah Brown, Robert Woods are some names that come up as questionable for the Texans. But Nico Collins, the main contributor on that offense, is alive and well. I'm taking the Browns defense here. I think it reigns supreme in this matchup. Flacco has the playoff experience. Obviously, Amari Cooper has made some runs with Dallas as well. Final score in this one, Browns 27, Texans 23. Let's go on down the AFC side here. Dolphins versus Chiefs. Tyreek Hill against his old team. The storyline is here in the playoffs. It's alive and well. Game time forecast is a big storyline here. It's set for 2 degrees without wind chill. Obviously, the thing everybody's going to be following is this Dolphins team that's used to playing in hot and sunny and humid Miami is coming into Kansas City, playing in weather that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones are used to. The Chiefs could have looked better throughout the regular season, but I keep hearing that postseason football just comes with this different type of pressure. Each play holds more weight. There's plenty of pressure overall. Who could handle that better than two-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes? Travis Kelce's a different breed in the playoffs as well. We don't know how much he has left in the tank, but he's been looking good as of late. Chiefs 30, Dolphins 24. Now the Steelers and Bills, the 7-2 matchup. Not much thought put into this one, to be honest. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin, fun story, right? This guy cranks out teams regardless of who's on the active roster to be 500 or better on the season. We have a lack of consistent quarterback play. We've seen Kenny Pickett. We've seen Mitch Trubisky. We've seen enough. The run game has been great, and now we are on to Mason Rudolph, who looks like is going to be the guy going forward unless they do something in the offseason, right? Which I would highly suggest they do, judging by what we've seen. Run game's been great, though. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren can ruin a lot of games. They have been a pivotal 1-2 punch. One of the main reasons this team is in the playoffs right now. But the Bills won their last 5 games of the regular season. It's all about who's hot right now. The defense has been playing a lot better. They just held the Dolphins to 14 points last week. Give me the Bills in this one easily. I respect you, Pittsburgh, but this one's not going to be close. 33-16 for Buffalo. All right, let's go to the NFC side. We begin up top with the Eagles against the Buccaneers. This is one of those matchups where the seedings just feel wrong, right? The Bucs are obviously the 4 seed because they took the NFC South. The Eagles have been struggling, but it's been a bit since Baker's been in the playoffs with that Browns team a couple of years ago. One of the best rushing teams in the league is the Philadelphia Eagles behind a premier offensive line led by Jason Kelce. I'm playing the experience card here once again. I know Jalen Hurts is banged up. I know A.J. Brown, we're still waiting on his status at the time of this recording, but I have a high-scoring matchup. At least on the Eagles' end, I don't think the Bucs are going to be able to do too much. 27-16, I have Tampa Bay getting the postseason jitters. Now, this one might be my favorite storyline in the wild card round. Stafford against the Lions at Ford Field in Detroit. Now, people are talking about this year's Rams team like they rebuilt from the ground up. It was just injuries, really, that put this team back for a year. They won it all a couple of years ago. They still have their core in Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, and now someone they don't have, but or didn't have, but have now. Puka Nacua is doing pretty well. Kyron Williams has been going crazy since he took over the backfield. I do love the Lions. They're 1-2 punch in the backfield with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, but I'm chalking this one up to the fact that a healthy Rams team, which, you know what, they're healthier than they've been pretty much all year, is a lot better than their record. The Lions defense has looked vulnerable at times. The Rams take this one on the road in the Jared Goff versus Matt Stafford showdown. I'm going with the Rams 24-20. Close game. And we round things out for the wild card round. The Packers and Cowboys, the McCarthy reunion. Mike McCarthy, longtime head coach for the Packers, won a Super Bowl with them, and Aaron Rodgers in 2011. A lot has changed since then, but one thing that hasn't changed is Green Bay having a great quarterback. What about how Jordan Love has done in his first year. Really impressive stuff. Green Bay is one of the most exciting teams I've personally ever watched. They're the youngest team in the playoffs. Jordan Love goes out and throws for 32 touchdowns as a first-year starter, and he has no veteran in the receiving corps. We're talking about guys like Dontavion Wicks, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, who can't stay healthy for the life of himself, right? Aaron Jones has been a game changer because he has been the lone veteran presence, really, on this offense in terms of playmakers. But the blemish on this Packers team, it's been following them all year, their defense. Joe Barry's defense has tightened up, but this team still gave up a 30 bomb not too long ago to the Carolina Panthers. I'm not going to let that fly. Dak is on an MVP caliber-like level right now. CeeDee Lamb has arguably been the best receiver in the game because he's been healthy this year and has been on a tear as well. And the Cowboys' front seven is as disruptive as they come. Both offenses come alive in this one, but I take Dallas. They're getting the nod, 33-27 to advance. Now the divisional round. Browns at Ravens, AFC North, a Joe Flacco homecoming. We really weren't expecting even a couple of months ago, but he has ignited this offense. As we've said before, this passing game looks different. This game, as most AFC North battles go, will be a battle between the defenses, all right? These two teams split the season series, and both road teams won. This comes down to who's going to make the mistake. Look, while I love Joe Flacco and everything he's been able to do, he's been making mistakes. 8 picks in 5 games. That's not going to fly in the postseason. Lamar has been dynamic. This is another team that has prevailed through injuries. I take the 1 seed Ravens here, 20-13. Chiefs Bills. How many times have we seen this, right? With how each team is trending, taking the Bills over the Chiefs should be a no-brainer, right? Will they do it? The Bills need this, but there has to be a sense of urgency on the Chiefs side with Travis Kelce nearing retirement as well. He's in his mid-30s, about to be mid to late 30s. Josh Allen has been a turnover machine on the side of Buffalo with 18 picks. But the key to their success lately and why they've won what would now be 6 games in a row has been the run game. The Bills have a 1,000-yard rusher in James Cook. Josh Allen can use his legs too. We've seen them do that out in the open field. And outside of Travis Kelce, Mahomes doesn't have that game wrecker of a wide receiver one, a primary target. I do love Rashee Rice, but he's just not at that level. Buffalo finally gets it done against the Chiefs in the postseason, 27-24. And Poetic Justice says it's got to be in overtime. 27-24 in overtime. Over to the NFC we go. Rams and 49ers. Another divisional matchup. This time it's the NFC West. The 49ers have such a wide spread of talent. You've got Brandon Ayuk having a career year. You have the Swiss Army knife that is Deebo Samuel. Obviously, you have Brock Purdy looking calm, cool, and collected. And it helps when you have the best running back through the air and on the ground in the game in Christian McCaffrey. Still looking like he's in his prime. The Rams have been electric on offense, but I don't see them on the other side of the ball being able to match up with the 49ers. Playmakers, give me San Fran by a score of 30-17. Pretty convincing, respectable performance by the Rams, but I go with the Niners to advance to the NFC Championship. And who will they play? The Eagles or the Cowboys? Another divisional matchup. We're 3 for 4 here now in the championship series as we head into it. Now we're in the NFC East. The Cowboys took the division because of the hot streak they rode late. We all know how the Eagles started this season, but the Eagles now, they've lost 5 of their last 6 games in the regular season. And then they, beat what I see as not the most strong-suited divisional champ in the Buccaneers. A.J. Brown will need to be very healthy. It's really going to matter here. Jalen Hurts has been bruised up on and off the field all year. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott is taking care of the football at one of the best rates he has had in his career. Offensive firepower prevails against a weak Eagles secondary. I've got Dallas taking this one 30-21 to advance to the NFC Championship. We'll go to the AFC Championship first. Bills and Ravens, 2 teams who have really struggled to get to the big game, to get to the Super Bowl, have a chance to do so this year with Super Bowl 58. The last few years they've faced off. We've seen some impressive battles. Only one can leave with the claim to fame that they're making it to 58. Call me crazy, but I have to take the Bills here. James Cook, despite the drop issues, has been the best running back that Buffalo has had in a while. Lamar is dynamic. Lamar is fun. Lamar is a playmaker. And the Ravens' defense has been insane, but Buffalo has the better weapons on offense. And for the first time in a long time, they can run the ball. Give me Buffalo 26-23 on a game-winning field goal as time expires. All right, who will they face off against? The Cowboys or the 49ers? I said this before with a different matchup. How many times have we seen these two teams face off in the playoffs? 2 of the most successful teams historically in football. The Cowboys always seem to be riding high until they run into the buzzsaw that is the San Francisco 49ers. Fred Warner is and always will be one of the most disruptive linebackers in the game. The run game and level-headed play calling of Kyle Shanahan, of course, is going to come through. It's usually mistake-free as well. And for the second postseason in a row, the Niners have one of the most dangerous players in football. We said his name before. We'll say it again in Christian McCaffrey. Dak will take better care of the ball, but the Niners cannot be stopped on the ground or through the air. San Francisco 37, Dallas 30. So look what we have here. Super Bowl 58. After starting the season 6-6 and making a mid-season firing in the coaching staff, the Buffalo Bills rattle off 5 straight W's in the regular season and 3 more in the postseason. Do they get their first ring? Or will the 49ers return to glory once again? A historic franchise with so much success over the years. I'm taking the Niners. This team, despite all of the success in the last decade, has been to 2 Super Bowls and has come up empty both times. They lost to the Ravens in the Harbaugh Bowl, and Mahomes took the Chiefs to victory against them a couple of years ago in 2020. This time, they get it done. I have the final score at 27-20. San Fran takes Super Bowl 58. Again, folks, be sure to let me know who you have winning the Super Bowl, if your team is in the playoffs, and who you have for Wild Card Weekend. I'm Corey. This is Armchair Fantasy Football, and we will see you in the next video.